5 showtime with TripleG. Brace yourself for the things you'll see. From comic books to toys and more. And all cartoons that we adore. Pop culture, flicks and geeky stuff. We love it all and can't get enough. So settle in and enjoy the show. Please hit like and subscribe before you go.
Well, hello, Efren. We're back.
Dang it, Peter, man, that intro is excellent. I gotta up my game.
Oh, it's all done on Canva. Did you spot yourself in there, Efren? Did you spot yourself?
Yeah, good. Thank you.
Good. Anyway, nice to see you, Efren. We are here. One of my favourite shows, this, because do you know why? It's talking comics. It's just talking bloody comics.
Yep.
So yeah, looking forward to getting into it. We've got some interesting stuff to cover tonight. Some exciting news at the end of the show as well about a future show we're going to be doing.
Yes.
Lots of good stuff. So let's see who we've got before we crack on. We've got Fuzzy of the Dunlop back at it again, boys. Nice to see you, Fuzzy. We've got Wayne. Nice to see you, Wayne. I hope you are well, bud. And we've got Fuzzy. Bloody theme tune. He's one of them. Fuzzy, you got to up a game, mate. Got to up a game. Do you know what I mean? If I want to play with the big boys, got to try and keep it fresh. Wait till you see the outro tune. That's my favorite. Anyway, we're ready, Efren. We've got lots to talk about.
Yes, sir.
Before we do that, Super Bowl. Did you get what you wanted in the Super Bowl? Did whoever win won?
I know you're not into sports. I am a lot. Last year, San Francisco 49ers lost to Kansas City, and they've lost to Kansas City like 2 out of the last 4 years they've lost the Super Bowl to them. So yeah, I was happy that they lost. So I'm glad Philadelphia won. Yeah, I'm getting tired of Kansas City winning all the time. So.
I mean, it's a spectacle, man, isn't it? It's just I mean, and so I was watching something and they were talking about the prices for the seats and things, just obscene, absolutely obscene.
For a commercial, 30-second commercial is between $6 to $8 million.
I mean, mental.
Yeah.
And then Kanye West hired a commercial spot just so you could see him getting his teeth done or something. Did you see that one? Yeah, he booked an advert slot and he was in a dentist chair getting his teeth done or something. Just crackers, just bloody crackers. Yeah. Anyway, let's not talk about Kanye. Let's talk comics. And this is our usual show that we've been doing for a long, long time, where we'll look at the advanced orders for books that are coming out in the next few months. And this month, we're talking about books that are coming out in April. So some really interesting books. Just quickly, we've got W Vogs. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining. We've got Luke. Always nice to see you, Luke. Excuse me, evening, guys. Just got off Spurs podcast, so need some cheering up listening to comic chat. Good stuff. I hope I can help you out with that. And we've got Gene. Nice to see you. I'm glad the Eagles won. Didn't care much for the halftime show. Yeah, it didn't seem to go down too well, did it? I mean, I have to be honest. I'm very old, so I don't really know who it was.
Me neither. I don't know that much. I've heard of it, but don't know much.
Yeah. But let's talk comics. We've got Mr. Keegan. Ayo, nice to see you, Mr. Keegs. Hope you're well, bud. Let's talk about what's coming out in April. As usual, me and Efren have independently picked a load of books. Some of them we've kind of doubled up on, so we'll both talk about those. But we'll start off with you, Efren, I believe. Is this you? Or is this me?
I think it may be you.
This might be me. Not sure. This is the Avengers, number 25, Rise of the all-new, all-different Masters of Evil. I'm a bit of a sucker for the Masters of Evil, so I thought I would pick this one up just because I like the look of the cover. I've not read a lot of Avengers lately, but this is a 25th issue, so it's a bit of a jumping on point. What did you think of this, Efren? Are you reading the current Avengers run?
I read a lot. I'm still reading all the Marvel books, good or bad, and I have been reading Avengers. Storm joined the Avengers a couple of episodes ago.
Yeah.
So it's taking, her on the Avengers, and I don't think she's on a regular X-Men team right now as we speak. And I believe Falcon, Captain America is the leader of this, of this group of Avengers. And I've been reading it. It's been entertaining. I think I just read these books because it's just I'm so used to reading them for decades and decades.
Yeah,
whether it's good or bad. But I've been reading it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested in the Masters of Evil because there's some interesting characters there. Madcap, I noticed. So I'm quite interested in seeing what he's up to these days. Fuzzy saying the head of marketing for Temu paid for an ad agency 80 million instead of 8 million. But that's just obscene, isn't it? Obscene. Good start when you don't know who chose it. It's just because there's so much fuzzy. We cram so much content into your viewing pleasure that sometimes it's just too much and we get overwhelmed. But it's all for you, Fuzzy. All for you. We'll both pick this one, Efren.
Okay.
But you can take this one away because it looked phenomenal.
Daredevil's my main man. I'm a Daredevil fan. It's just Daredevil Cold Day in Hell #1 of 3. I kind of like this. It's just 1 of 3. It's not prolonged too, So after a horrific series of events, the world is in shambles. Matt Murdock is old and his powers have faded to nothing. Matt will not, however, sit by and watch his fellow New Yorkers suffer. So instead of swinging around the city from Billy Club line, he slings soup at a food center for the poor. But when a mysterious, wrinkly old man interrupts a secret convoy, causing an explosion, a deadly gas fills Hell's Kitchen, and this tale takes a turn that will change how you look at the man without fear. I love these kind of stories. I mean, do like 180s on Daredevils that we're not used to. This could be like a what if, Daredevil book. But hopefully it's a good book, and I like the picture. They show like the background of the young Daredevil on the front. They show him old.
Yeah, I'm assuming this is like an out of continuity kind of Dark Knight kind of thing. So it'll be set in the future. It sounds really interesting. I like the look of this one, and like you, Efren, it's only 3 issues. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of an easy read, hopefully. So I'm quite looking forward to this. Fuzzy saying, is this the one with Muse in it, or is that another Daredevil that's coming? I didn't see that in the solicitation, Fuzzy.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah. This is a standalone story, 3-parter. So yeah, it sounds really interesting. And Fuzzy saying there's a new one. There's a few for sure. Geiger again. I think we'll both pick this one. Efren, but you can take this away because I know you're a big Geiger fan.
So Geiger is part of a universe. Actually, I'm going to speak about one of these other books later on, but this is Geiger 13, and I've loved Geiger. This is like the volume 2 of Geiger. I highly recommend, going back to volume 1 and reading them. I think the first set with this 12 issues long, but this is Geiger 13. Cover ace is by Gary Frank and Brad Anderson, written by Jeff Johns. The explosive second year of the hit series begins here. Geiger comes face to face with the unstoppable power of Ashley Arden, the glowing woman. Man. So there's another person who's a Geiger, so to speak, but it's a woman. Can he learn to control his abilities as she has, or will his growing power doom him and everyone he holds dear?
Yeah, I can't wait for this. I think this is going to be very, very cool. I mean, I'm thoroughly enjoying Geiger. It's one of my favorite series. And like you're saying, Efren, I went back and read the first volume because I'd not read that one before. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was spot on. I'd love to see it made into a TV series or a movie or something. I think it would make a good show.
I was just looking at I agree with you 100%, but I was just looking at this cover. I'm a sucker for glow in the dark covers.
Yeah,
so if this was a glow in the dark, I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah, I liked those Batman. What was the Rodney? Is it the
Rodney Barnes?
Yeah,
yes,
full moon or something. The glow in the dark covers for that are great. Really nice. I picked this. This one just piqued my interest, really. It's from Image. It's called Golden Rage. Basically, it's about a crazy old lady. So it's a 5-part series. Image do some really good stories when it's not connected to any big inter-arc and kind of continuity and all that kind of stuff. It's just a standalone tale. And this one sounded pretty interesting. So it's a mini-series, and it's a world where old, infertile women are deemed useless to society and abandoned on an island. Golden Rage documents their golden years of making friends, baking desserts, and fighting to the death. I just think it sounds very much like almost like a Hunger Games, but with old women, basically. It sounds interesting. It says Golden Girls, praise for the Golden Rage, Battle Royale meets the Golden Girls with a dash of Agatha Christie and Logan's Run. That, for me, sounds pretty darn interesting. Now, I've got it on here as a book I'll pick up, but if it's a 5-issue, I'll probably pick the first issue up and read it to see if I like it, and then I might hold off and get it as a complete trade paperback later down the line. So I've got the full story. But yeah, sounds cool. Doctor Strange of Asgard. This is yours, Efren, I think.
Yes, I picked this one. I haven't read the first one yet, but everybody who, not everybody, but those who read Marvel knows Doctor Strange is not the Sorcerer Supreme anymore. It's Doctor Doom. They're making a big deal about it over in Marvel. Doctor Doom, Sorcerer Supreme. But he says he went to Asgard to become a Sorcerer Supreme, but now he's covering up a murder, one that Thor will be furious to hear about. And if that isn't enough, it turns out Asgardian landlords also charge rent. Strange will have to find a killer and a job while gaining mastery over Asgardian magic, dodging Thor's mounting suspicions and evading mysterious assassins. Maybe moving to the land of gods wasn't such a good idea. I just like that they're still moving forward with Doctor Strange. They're trying to see if he become a Sorcerer Supreme of Asgard, which I've never heard about. So that's another thing that also piqued my interest. Issue 1 isn't even out yet, but I'm interested in this one. Doctor Strange is I have a statue of Doctor Strange right behind me right here.
Yeah,
I put him up there to show you how much of a fan I am of his. I just hope this is a good series and eventually he's going to have a face off with Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's pointing to.
So I picked issue 1 of this last month when we did our selection. I think it looks amazing. And I think at the time we said that, just the type, the font, the Doctor Strange of Asgard looks really, really interesting. So I'm looking forward to this. I think this could have the makings of a really cool little series.
Yes.
Luke, I saw this appear and I got very tempted. Anything Asgard always piques my interest. Yeah, I think this will be cool, mate. Yeah. I do think this will be cool. Now, this is an interesting one for us because I have a love-hate relationship with the Flash. Out of all the DC characters, Flash is probably one of my favorites. And I read an awful lot of the Wally West run back in the day when Jeff Jones was writing him and Mark Waid was writing him and all that. And then I lost love for the series when we got Barry back, to be honest. And I've jumped in and out for a while. But this is a new start. This is a fresh event. And it's got one of my old favourite characters in it, Eclipso. So I thought I would probably give this a go just to see what it's all about. So it basically says a new Flash event begins, bad moon rising. The moon has become a battleground in the war to end old wars. One side, Wally West. On one side, Wally West, and the other, Wally West and Wally West. That makes no sense. Using his new... it does, because he can duplicate himself, Efren. That's his new Flash power.
Okay.
He kind of duplicates himself. So yeah, I haven't read much Flash for a long time. I'll pick this one up. I'll give it one issue as a go. And if it's as bad as the couple of issues I read last year or the year before, I'll put it down again. But like I say, it's got Eclipso in it. And it's ages since I've read an Eclipso book.
I'm glad you picked this one because like you, I was reading The Flash, but I lost interest because his whole family was involved in it now, and I just got a little bit too confusing with me. And this is a starting point. So I like that. And I want to see what his new powers are.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Yeah. And I am going to read this one for sure. See how it is.
Give it a go.
Yeah.
Fuzzy's saying, I read issue 1. I need to read issue 1 first. This is the Doctor Strange of Asgard. Cracking covers, but I've never been blown away by Doctor Strange in print. I think he's much better on film. Yeah, some of his stories are pretty good, Fuzzy. There's a really good mini-series. I think it's called The Oath, which is a 4 or 5 parter, which is cracking little read. That's worth picking up. I'll try Absolute Flash. I'd rather try that than get into the main title at this point. Yeah, it's a good point, Fuzzy. I think Absolute Flash is based on Barry Allen, but and Wally's my Flash. So I'm always hoping that they do something interesting with Wally and kind of get him back to his heyday. Never seems to happen, but this is an interesting one from you, Efren.
So I have a quick story for you. So years ago, I went to a small convention and George Perez was there. And I had a Flash blank cover, and I asked, and I didn't know nothing about the Flash, but I know he drew him, and it was a Flash cover. And he asked me, "Who do you want, Wally West or the other guy, Barry Allen?" I was like, "What's the difference? Don't they kind of look the same?" I didn't say that to him, obviously, but I think I chose Wally West. I don't even know who the heck I chose. He did a quick little sketch for me, George Perez. But he was asking me, "Who do you want?" I'm going, is it that much of a difference between them?
You should have said Jay Garrick. Just totally throw him off the straight.
Yeah, that would have been good. Yeah. I read the first Huck a couple years ago, and I don't remember much about it, to be honest with you. But I know I enjoyed it, but I don't even remember the storyline at all anymore. So this is Huck 2, and the first one came out like about 5 years ago, and also because it's written by Mark Millar. And he says Hulk is an artistic man with extraordinary powers who tries to do one good deed every day. Now he's back in a sequel where a mysterious man tells him he and his mother aren't the only super people out there, and there are others in hiding just like them. So I read the first series of this, like I said, and it was enjoyable. I'm sorry I don't remember that much about it, and it's written by Mark Millar. I always like his writing too, so I'm going to give this a try.
I read a lot of Mark Millar's stuff, and I thought I knew most of his books, but I have to say I don't think I've ever heard of Hook. I don't remember this volume 1 of this at all.
It's about 5 years.
It must have just passed me by.
Yeah.
But Mark Millar's stuff is stunning. He's a very, very good writer, so be interesting one to check out. I went for this. I'm a bit of a sucker for the old Chris Claremont run of Wolverine and X-Men and all that kind of stuff. So this is Wolverine and Kitty Pryde issue 1, again, just a 5-parter, but it's written by Claremont. And he wrote these two particularly well together, I think, back in the day. So first off, loved the cover. I think it's a really nice painted look and cover. And then I'm just interested in the story. It does say on the bottom there that this is multiple first appearances within this issue. So if you're a spec person, this might be worth checking out. But it goes back set in the past, I think, where Kitty Pryde nearly lost her soul to Ogun during a journey to Japan. Logan was there to keep the youngest X-Man on the path of good. Always like a bit of Wolverine, so yeah, I thought I'll give that one a bit of a go.
The first time that this came out, it was a classic book. I remember it too. It was Chris Claremont. He was like, Wolverine was kind of like training Kitty, to be who the badass she is today. Took another young girl underneath his wing, so to speak. And I agree. I didn't know it was Claremont. Oh, it says Claremont Returns. Definitely. I want to read this. See what he's up to.
Because at first I wasn't sure if this was just reprints, Efren, but I don't think it is. It's new stories from him. So yeah, happy to give that a bit of a read. Doom.
Oh my gosh, I want to order Doom Academy 1. I don't buy that many new books anymore, but I am going to look out for this book when it comes out. It's like second iteration of Strange Academy, but now Doom is a Sorcerer Supreme, so he's in charge. And book 1 hasn't come out yet. I really want to read it, and this is just a continuation. I picked it because obviously I'm a big fan of Strange Academy. But it has some of the same characters from Strange they went to, in Doom Academy. It says Zoe fights the monsters of your childhood nightmares, which, come on, you have to admit that's pretty cool. Meanwhile, her friends are forced to ask, why do the good rescue plans always involve asking people you really don't like for help? So not much of a synopsis here. So it's just a continuation of Doom Academy. It should be coming out probably this month, issue number 1. So hopefully it's a good read.
I don't think I recognize any of the characters on that cover.
Neither do I. I mean, it almost looks like Fairy Tale. I think it just has that main character, Zoe, in the middle, the bottom middle. I think she's like in some other type. This is Childhood Nightmares.
Yeah. Fuzzy's just saying the Doom banner. Yeah, I have to say, Fuzzy, I don't like it either. It's quite intrusive on all the books, isn't it?
Oh, there's one character that I recognize all the way right on the top. And it has like a side view of her. She's a regular student, I believe, in Doom Academy.
Oh, Atlantean. Is that she's like an Atlantean thing? Is that one?
Yeah, I think she's a tall person, but I think she's a part of Doom Academy.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Yep. We'll see.
I had to pick this. There's a whole host of these out this month, actually. There's Godzilla versus X-Men, Spider-Man, all kinds of stuff. But this is Godzilla versus the Hulk, round 2. I love a bit of Godzilla action. I love the cover. I think the cover looks great. I'm loving the type of Godzilla on it. I think that looks really, really cool. General Ross has no tolerance for monsters in any form. With his anti-kaiju task force, the Thunderbolts, he's taken down or imprisoned the biggest and baddest monsters on the planet. Fing Fang Foom, Mothra, Kumongo, even Hulk. And now all that's left is the biggest hunt of all, Godzilla. That sounds class. It'll be rubbish. Do you know what I mean? In terms of, it's not going to have any long-term effect or anything like that, but just for a dead easy fight comic, I think this is well worth the pickup. There are 6 one-shots of this. This is the second one. Like I said, I might have a slide on Spider-Man coming up, but there's X-Men this month as well. So yeah. Did
you read the Justice League versus Godzilla versus King Kong one?
I've got the I bought the trade. Well, I didn't buy it. I got the trade paperback at Christmas, but I haven't read it yet. It's on me. It's on my shelf to read. It's on my
I
shelf.
really enjoyed that series.
Yeah.
You know, I just like the way they did that, and a certain monster becomes a Green Lantern for a short minute. I went, okay.
Okay.
But yeah, I really enjoyed that series. So hopefully this one, holds up to that one.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Fuzzy saying there's a superb Godzilla versus Thing cover that looks like an old boxing poster. Yeah, I saw that one, Fuzzy. I really liked that. It was very cool. Ephraim.
I picked this one. I guess I did.
Yeah.
This Green Lanterns Corps number 3. I've been enjoying the Green Lanterns more and more within the last couple of years. Like I said, I usually just, when I was growing up, it was just Marvel 99.9% of the time. But, reading indie books and, actually now getting into DC books a lot. I picked this cover because I just like the look of this cover. I thought it was pretty sharp looking.
Yeah.
The girl on the right, how it says, how the ring always finds somebody, she basically created her own way of harnessing the powers of the Green Lantern.
All right.
So she wasn't imbued with it, given the honor of it. She just made her own.
Okay.
And it stuck, with her. So, if you look at her armor and her hand, it's different. That's where she gets her power from. I forgot the character's name, but she just wanted to be a Green Lantern. And she just basically created her own way of harnessing the powers of the Green Lantern. And they accepted her, basically, So this is Sad Boys of the Galaxy gather around. The Sorrow Lantern and his fractal soldiers are on the march, and Razor and Kilowog will need to use their willpower to escape alive. Meanwhile, the fate of Thanagar is revealed after being cracked in two during the Civil Corps storyline. But what mystery lies at the center? Plus, on all this, plus John and Hawkwoman fight for their lives aboard Atrocious' ship. It's a Red Lantern pirate adventure across the galaxy. A lot to say. So obviously there's more than one storyline going on with this.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's a good read.
That brings one on to something that came out in the Super Bowl. We've got the Guy Gardner kind of advert skit. I loved it.
I didn't see that at all.
It's just a couple of seconds of him kind of holding his hair and saying it's the only ball he needs. And then he does like a weird kind of grin at the camera. Do you know what? I thought it was really funny. I thought it was really good. People have jumped on it straight away and, oh my God, this is going to be terrible. It's a rubbish film and blah, 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 blah. But I thought this was funny. I thought it was quite good. And actually, seeing him in costume there, he looks like Guy Gardner. Guy Gardner's supposed to be an irritating prat, So that I thought looked spot on to me. It's interesting. We've talked about it before that we get all these people moaning saying they want comic accurate versions of characters on the screen, and then as soon as we give them the twist about it. But yeah, I think this is going to be fun. It was debuted at the Puppy Bowl. Have you heard about the Puppy Bowl?
Yeah, I heard about the Puppy Bowl. So was this an actual commercial?
I'm not sure. I didn't watch the Super Bowl or anything. I've only seen it jumping up on Instagram and things like that.
I gotta check it out. See if I can find it.
It's only, I think it's like 10, 20 seconds or something, Ephraim.
Okay.
But yeah, it's funny. It is funny. I quite liked it. I like the costume. I think the costume looks pretty cool. Okay, I picked this one because this is a bit of nostalgia for us. This is another mini series, 6 issues, cover B by Dan Panasian. This is Resurrection Man. I don't know if you remember Resurrection Man.
No.
So he had a series for a while, and he was a part of the Justice League for a short time. A guy called Mitchell Shelley, I think he was called or something. Basically, his powers are every time he dies, he's resurrected with a new power. So it's a bit like, do you remember Dial H for Hero?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a bit like that, but basically to activate a new kind of power, he's got to be killed. He's got to die.
Wow.
Really interesting. This is written by Ram V. So Ram V for me is a little bit hitty missy, but he's sometimes very, very good. So I think this might be pretty interesting. Basically, it says he's back. Mitch Shelley, the Resurrection Man, has led thousands of lives, and with each unexpected death, resurrection comes a new superpower. But after living a life to its natural conclusion, Mitch is awoken by a new purpose and power, saving the universe. And I think this has got the makings of a good little series. Fuzzy saying he loves the cover, but was put off because he never heard of the character. The character originally, Fuzzy, was really interesting. The kind of gave me was very much a dark kind of character, but then they tried to make him more popular by putting him in a superhero costume and adding him to the Justice League and stuff. And it was all right. But at his roots, he was more of a kind of a Vertigo type character, I think. But yeah, worth checking that one out. I think it'll be good. The current New Gods book by Ranvi is supposed to be brilliant, though. Yeah, New Gods never something that floated me boat, but I've heard it's meant to be really good.
So
yeah.
Quick question. Sorry, Peter. When he dies and when he comes back, does he keep his superpowers, the other ones, or is it new? Is this a separate one?
It's a new power every time he dies.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you pick this or did I pick this? I probably put this one in.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is, again, just another continuation of those Godzilla books that we've already talked about, this time versus Spider-Man. Not so keen on that cover, but again, it's Godzilla versus Spidey, so I'll definitely be giving that one a go. I definitely picked this one. Have you heard of this series, Efren?
I think I've been reading it, but it's 5 of... let me see here. Go ahead, read it. I think I have.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So this is Hell Hunters. It's basically set during, I think it's World War II. I've read the first issue, and basically it's a kind of a team up of a version of Ghost Rider, Wolverine, and all those kind of characters. The first issue was really, really cool. So I'm keen to continue on with this one. This is the end of the series, the final battle between the Nazis and the unhallowed and the unkillable Hell Hunters. Newly empowered with the strength and hellfire of Zarathos, the Hell Hunters are all that stand between the undead legions and the end of the Allied forces. Like I say, first issue was great, so I'm looking forward to getting into more of this. I must have missed the last issue or two. I'll have to try and catch up with them. But yeah, it was fun. It was a fun read.
I noticed in this cover, it looks like Wolverine's claws look like they're covered in hellfire.
I think they've all got hellfire-based powers by the end of the series.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, this is definitely yours.
Star Wars. I love Bad Batch. When the series ended, I was disappointed because I wish it would have continued. It was an animated series on Disney Plus. So this is Star Wars Bad Batch, Ghost Agents number 4. It says the Stolen Republic intel sought by Clone Force 99 has switched hands. Now the data is closely guarded by none other than fearsome bounty hunter Aura Singh. In order to survive Aura's onslaught, Clone Force 99 must enlist an unsavory ally, a villain who would as soon stab them in the back as save them. So it's Ventress. So it looks like they're gonna, not hook up with her, but do an adventure together. And I've always liked the animated series, ever since they came out in Clone Wars, the Bad Batch. So this is a continuation of their stories, untold stories, so to speak. So hopefully it's a good story. I will be reading this.
I've never really caught up with Bad Batch, to be honest.
It's pretty good.
Fuzzy, I won't be wasting my time on this. Fuzzy's not a Star Wars comic fan. I'm loving this. So this is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 9 by Jason Aaron. Just read, I think it was issue 6 that was out last week. This series has really got us invested back in Turtles. I think it was a stroke of genius the way he's kind of focused the first few issues on individual Turtles and brought them all back together. The last issue was absolutely phenomenal. I'm just loving the series. I'm loving the art styles. It's just fun. It is fun. Long time since I've thought I've really enjoyed a Turtle comic, to be honest, Efren, but this is hitting all the strides for me. It says, already weakened, weary, and a little deranged, poor Donatello has now been captured by the Foot Clan. The remaining Turtle boys make a plan for an all-out war against Kari, can't pronounce it, but are forced to think twice when they hear the voice of reason coming from the dead body of a rat. Interesting. So Donatello, so within this tale, Efren, Master Splinter's been killed a good while ago. He died a good while ago. But Donatello, who's been, I think before this series, traveling through time and was into magic and things like that, has gone a little bit mad. And he started carrying around a dead rat with him that he keeps talking to and telling everybody it's Master Splinter. And for everybody else, it's just a dead rat. But it's interesting, this little synopsis here saying that they're going to think twice when they hear the voice of reason coming from the body of a dead rat. So maybe there is more to it than we've seen so far. Fuzzy's a fan of this series. What a book, absolutely. He's saying issue 7 is allegedly even better. That issue 6 is going to take some top on Fuzzy because that was really, really strong read. So yeah, Worth a read. Worth a read. This one, Efren.
This is the main, not the main reason, but this is one of the most better reasons why we do this show, because I had never even heard of this book that had come out. Now you got me interested. So is it a continuation of the regular series, or is it like a what if series?
No, it is a continuation, but you don't need to worry about all of the backstory and stuff like that. It picks up on issue 1, and you can pick it up without having any knowledge really of the. All you need to know is that the turtles are separated, basically.
Okay,
but it goes through.
I've only read one turtle book, and it was The Last Ronin. I've never read the turtle book, so maybe I'm gonna try to check this one out.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good story. I'm enjoying it.
Cool.
More Doom from you.
Yeah, I'm just hoping. I'm just keeping my fingers crossed with this series. One World Under Doom. This is number 3 of 9. The Avengers have faced Doom and they lost, but Earth still needs avenging, and it's not just the heroes who dislike having Doom in charge. And so heroes and villains unite against Doom, intent on taking him down once and for all. But that's not all. A simultaneous magic attack reveals the shocking truth of how Doom took over the world, with terrifying implications for others might or might not take it from him. However, Doom's mind, vast and cool and unsympathetic, is not the only one regarding Earth with envious eyes. It's either going to. I forgot about Reed. Something they haven't mentioned much of the Fantastic Four that I know of in this series. So his is longtime nemesis. I think Doom's ego is going to get in the way. That's how he's going to be defeated. So I haven't read any episode yet of One World Under Doom. So I'm just keeping my fingers crossed.
My old eyes, Efren. I can't quite make it out. Is that an Alex Ross cover?
That looks like an Alex Ross cover.
Not sure.
I don't see his signature on there anywhere, but it does remind me of Alex Ross. Yeah.
Fuzzy's just saying you don't need to read all issues 1 to 5. You can start on issue 6. The first 5 are one shots. That's very cool. Gives you the bit of the backstory. But nice to see you, Hoodrat. Hope you are well. Hope you're well. Next from me. This is a bit of it. I don't know. This might just be a bit of fun. Superior Avengers. I'm a big fan of the Superior Spider-Man storyline. I think the cover for this is pretty awful, but it's got some characters that I quite like. It just piqued me interest, really. These aren't your daddy's Avengers. There came a day like any other when Dr. Doom ruled the world and needed Avengers team of his own. So, Christoph, remember him? He was the young kid, the young version of Dr. Doom a few years back. Son of Victor Von Doom has been tasked with building the newest iteration of Earth's mightiest heroes. But who are they? So, looks interesting. Looks interesting. We've obviously got a Ghost there. We've got a version of Black Panther and a version of Magneto / Onslaught or something, I think. So, yeah, looking forward to seeing what's that's about. Hoodright saying that he thinks it looks like Alex Ross, that last cover as well. It does, doesn't it? Looks a bit like him. Yeah. This will probably be rubbish, Efren. It's got us slightly intrigued. So I'll pick it up and see what it's like.
I agree with the rubbish part. I'm probably going to read it, but I know they did. Norman Osborn did his Dark Avengers, now the Superior Avengers. I was like, oh, come on, but yeah, I'll read the first issue to see how it is, but it's just like a force of habit reading these books. But I don't. This is just. I think it should be 1 of 3 instead of 1 of 6. Put it that way.
Yeah, so we'll see what it's like.
Yeah,
this is a nice book.
Yeah, the thing to me, I mean, I know they go out into outer space a lot, the Fantastic Four, but to me, the Thing is more of a street level hero. And this is Thing number 2, cover A, targeted by Bullseye. And I love the way that Bullseye is right in the middle of his head. He's pissed. Then Grimm must protect his former tormentor from all the hitmen in New York. But even with his strength, will the Thing be enough to fend off the world's deadliest assassin? It's just a street level story, obviously. Like probably this kid that picked on him when he was younger now needs his help. And Ben Grimm being Ben Grimm, he's going to help him. So hopefully it's a good storyline. So I haven't read issue 1; hasn't even come out yet. But I love this cover. This thing's an awesome looking cover. Yeah,
I'm a big fan of Bullseye as well. So I'll read anything with Bullseye. And what did you think of the Fantastic Four trailer? I haven't had a chance to ask you really.
I liked it. It didn't give much away, but we know who was going to be there. I mentioned to my cousin, everybody showed their powers more or less, except for Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah.
I think they want to get it right with him. They don't want it to look cheesy. They haven't gotten that far along. I don't like that the Thing is the same size as everybody else, though.
Yeah.
He should be bigger. I mean, he should be at least 4 to 5 inches taller than anybody else. I mean, just by
Yeah.
his form alone, so I'm not sure why they did it like that. And it looks like it's set in the 1960s.
Yeah.
I still think they're going to end up in the negative zone and then come back to the current Marvel universe, cinematic universe eventually.
I think that's how we'll end up. I think the end will be them moving into our MCU.
Yeah.
Predator versus Spider-Man. This is a 4-parter. Predator making his way around the MCU the Marvel universe at the moment. We've just had Wolverine versus Predator. Love a bit of Spider-Man action. This just sounds right up my street. So Predator versus Wolverine, we saw a single Predator stalk the Earth's greatest prey, the killing machine Wolverine, in Predator versus Black Panther. I didn't actually read that one.
That was pretty good. I read it.
It was good. We saw him invade Wakanda, and there he just throws kin. Now Ben Percy turns his twisted brain on Marvel's most beloved property, Spider-Man. Yeah, I just think it's going to be cool. Fuzzy getting very upset with banners tonight. I agree, Fuzzy, the 20th Century Fox banner should just be removed because it looks utter tripe. I don't like it at all. We've got Reed Richards in the chat. This is the real Reed Richards. I would like to say that putting Pedro Pascal to play my role in the movie was an outrage. He doesn't look like the smartest man on earth. Right. I agree. I was quite happy with what you call him, who was in Multiverse of Madness. What you call him, John Chris Crew? Can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. I know you're talking about the actor. Yeah. I thought they were going to keep him as a Reed Richards, but
well, we might get him back.
I read Predator versus Wolverine. That was a good read.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I didn't read Black Panther, but so looking forward to this one. Efren.
Red Coat number 11. I really enjoyed this series. This is part of a universe created by Jeff Johns and other writers and artists. And basically, Red Coat, this is Red Coat number 11. I'll be talking about it later on, so I won't say much about it. Entering the next great American myth from the unnamed, the Northerner. Who is this enigmatic figure? What drives him? And what does the immortal Simon Pure stand as his adversary? Discover the untold origins of one of the most mysterious legends in American history and uncover how this arrival reshapes the destinies of Redcoat Geiger, Junkyard Joe, and the rest of the unnamed. This is a big universe that was created going back 2 years now, and Geiger's part of it, Junkyard Joe, Redcoat. It's been a really entertaining series. This man basically has immortality, but his only thing is he can't leave the United States. And he's met historical figures, real life historical figures, like Albert Einstein. That was a really good storyline with Albert Einstein.
Yeah. So it's a great series. Series. I'm really enjoying it. Again, another one that would be great as a TV show, I think. But yeah, really enjoying Red Coat. This one threw us. I hadn't heard of this character, so again, it's an issue 1. I thought I'd give it a bit of a go. The Unstoppable Jin, the original story of one of the hottest new characters in the Marvel Universe, Kid Juggernaut of the Avengers Academy cast. Just before his mysterious death, Justin's father sent a package to his estranged son containing a fragment of the Crimson Gem, the Gem of Kryatok. How did it end up in the family's hands? What does I can't see that. Sidetrack? Yeah. What was the street baker's boy from Vancouver, and can Doctor Strange help? I've never heard of this character, so it piques my interest a little bit. Again, it'll probably be rubbish, but I'll give it a go and just see what it's like, see what the first issue is like.
I don't remember Kid Juggernaut being in Avengers Academy. I mean, Avengers Academy is over 5 years old now. Yeah. I remember, I don't remember him being in the cast, unless he was there at the end. I just forgot. But I mean, wait a minute. This is Collecting Kid Juggernaut. This is a book that's in Infinity Comics.
So Infinity Comics are the online comics, aren't they?
Yeah.
So it's collecting all of the online comics.
Yeah.
Tragic trade press and placement of it's even worse.
You sure you want to choose this one? We can remove it from your list.
Yeah, we'll take it from the list. I'll give it a go. This was you, Efren. You picked this.
Yes, Los Monstros, which means monsters, obviously here. This is the time is the 1950s, and the place is a very unique American city. Los Monstros is entirely populated with classic monsters from movies and folklore. Vampires, man monsters, werewolves, mummies, and many other fantastic creatures. Perry Cutter, werewolf PI, has just followed a Gilman kidnapping when another case falls into his lap. The case finding a missing vampire seems simple enough until Perry realizes he must walk a razor's edge between crime boss and pyramid casino owner Ramses and the hard-boiled team of vampire cops known as the Night Shift. So this is just, I mean, obviously it's something new, and that's why I grabbed my attention. And I have been enjoying more and more monster and scary movies, thanks to you and James, comic book wise, so that's why I chose this one. So hopefully it will be a good read. And just when it has to do with monsters, I really love old school monsters, so to speak.
I like the sound of this. It sounds really interesting. It sounds quite similar in some regards to Freddy the Fix that I read a couple of months back. But yeah, it does look cool. Fuzzy, and this is the reason the artist changed on Standstill. He's writing this. Oh, right, I see.
Okay.
I see. Interesting. The book sounds interesting in itself. I enjoyed Freddy the Fix, which is similar to this in themes, I guess. But yeah, I'll definitely give this one a go, Efren. It sounds cool. Absolute Batman. Again, no surprise to anybody. I'm loving Absolute Batman.
Yeah.
The Joker and Mr. Freeze make their Absolute Universe debut starting here. So yeah, just continuing on with this series. It's phenomenal. Really enjoying it. And you've got the first, like I say, appearance of Joker and Mr. Freeze in this. So can't wait to see what happens in that series.
I might have asked you this before, but was this supposed to be a limited series, Absolute Batman? It was ongoing.
Ongoing. Yeah, okay. It's an ongoing.
Okay.
And then you've gone for Vatican City.
Yeah, number 2. The siege continues with the last humans on Earth. I love this premise. The siege continues with the last humans on Earth trapped behind the walls of Vatican City as billions of vampires wait outside, afraid of holy relics. But something is buried beneath the Vatican itself, and the vampires want it more than even the human blood inside. I just think this is, great storyline. I mean, I really like this, like, besides the normal, nothing against normal superhero comic books, but reading these indie books and just books like this, Vatican City number 2, and it's another by Mark Millar. Yeah. So I really hope issue number 1 is really good. I knew it was good being Catholic. See, it has to do, they're in Vatican City, so
absolutely.
That's where I will be.
Fuzzy's saying, Mr. Freeze, my favorite Batman villain, can't wait.
Yeah.
He's saying, I'll be honest, I'm disappointed nobody chose Wacky Races yet. I've gone for Department of Truth 31 by James Tynion. The reason I've put this is because I think we talked about it last month, and I thought I've not read any of it for years.
Yeah, me neither.
Do I need to dip my toe back in and just see what it's like? The cover to this looked creepy as anything, and I really liked it. So I'll be honest, I just thought I'm going to pick this up and just see what it's like, see if I've not given this book a fair crack.
I'm sorry, I agree with you, Peter, 100%. When this book came out, I went, oh my God, what a fantastic storyline. And I read maybe up to the first year, somewhere around there. But then I just started getting confused with it. The wording, everything just threw me off some. And then books wouldn't come out for months and months and months, and I just lost interest in it.
Yeah. I'll give it a go. I'll give it a read, see what I think. Oh, Efren, you picked one of my favorites.
Yeah, I mean, I've been reading In Bloom. I read it more. I think I read it because you mentioned it. I think Fuzzy might have mentioned it too.
Yeah.
If he didn't, I apologize. But yeah, I've been reading In Bloom. It's been a really good story. And it's ending. Oh, wow, I didn't notice that. Number 5 of 5.
Yeah.
It says, Spears comes face to face with the mother brain, but is nearly broken as it tries to reason with him, bearing a familiar visage, the rough form of his dear wife. A deadly battle ensues, but not without terrible costs. Beyond the pain of his injuries, a fateful wound shows sinister signs of the worst possible outcome. Has Spears himself begun to bloom? This is when basically human beings start, transforming into not faces. It's kind of hard to explain. You may be able to explain it better than me, Peter.
It's like they erupt with funguses and plants.
Yes, that was a fungus. Yeah.
Yeah. Issue 2 was phenomenal, and the bit with his wife in her face was just horrific, absolutely horrific. Fuzzy's seen great book. It is. It's an amazing book. Well worth picking that one up. That'll be great. That'll definitely be a one I'm going to pick up as a hardback to keep a hold of. because I love it. I love it. Andy's saying he hasn't read a comic this year. Come on, Andy. Give In Bloom a read, Andy, because I think you'll enjoy In Bloom.
Pretty good.
It's good. Fuzzy, ask and you shall receive. Of course I've picked Wacky Races, mate. Of course I've picked it. There are some phenomenal covers for this, and I have to be honest, I couldn't really pick which one I wanted. I had to go with Muttley. I had to go with a bit of Muttley on the front there. This is Wacky Races, giant size Wacky Races #1. 40 pages of stories and art. Thrill to the all-new adventures of Penelope Pitstop. The giant one-shot features 3 thrilling chapters that take us on high-octane adventures. I just think this will be silly fun. I've got such fond memories of Wacky Races when I was younger, watching the cartoon, and just loving every minute of it. Dick Dastardly and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think this will just be a silly little book that I've got your back, Fuzzy. I mean, you are like-minded, mate. You should have a comic show, Andy. You sound qualified. So will you be picking this one up, my friend? Is this something you might read?
I didn't even see this at all, but I think I'm gonna pick it up and read it. I remember the main dog in the middle. What's his name?
Muttley.
I remember his giggle or whatever it is.
That's as best as I can do.
Yeah, this brings back so many memories as a kid watching. I'm sorry. When I was in the United States here, Saturdays was the only time we had cartoons.
Yeah.
Was it? It was the same there, right?
No, we had Saturday mornings were very much cartoon times and stuff, but we had from like 4 o'clock in the afternoon till 5:30. Well, maybe it's earlier than that. 3:30 till 5:30 was very much cartoon kind of kids TV.
Yes.
And then you got into soap operas at 5:30ish.
Yeah. So basically the same thing there. Our soap operas were like in the afternoon though, like from 1 to 4. And then they had the kids' cartoons. But then on Saturdays was just a special day, watching all these great cartoons,
Can't beat a bit of Wacky Races. Dynamite's getting some really interesting titles at the moment. It's a shame some of them aren't so good, but they have got some very good properties. You've gone for something that's killing the children.
This series to me is like one of the best series of the last 5 years, and unfortunately, the only downside to these storylines is they don't come out every month anymore. But a new one's finally going to be coming out. Something is Killing the Children, number 41. Erica Slaughter is the main character. I love that character. In this pivotal issue of the best-selling horror saga, the dive into Erica's past continues as we re-enter her younger years, being brought up in the House of Slaughter. What deadly haunts awaits her and Jessica, and how does Cecilia post yet another challenge for the young monster hunter? Looks like they're going back, obviously, in her younger years.
Yeah.
Not that I don't mind, but there's going to be new storylines. But I would like to see, hopefully, the continuation of her present storyline too.
I've still not caught up with. I've got the second volume of the fancy hardback thing that came out 6 months ago. Still not read that because I'm not reading this in single issue. I'm reading it in graphic novel format. But I will get to it. And then I've gone for this mainly because when I was flicking through the solicitations, I noticed that good old Mark Spears is pumping out a load more covers for Dynamite again. So there's there's Red Sonja versus Mars Attacks, which has got some really interesting covers. And then there's this Red Sonja versus Army of Darkness with a Mark Spears cover. So this is probably going to be a cover buy for me. I do like Army of Darkness. I don't think I've ever read a Rod. Why do I keep saying Rod Sonja? I want to say Rod Stewart. I don't think I've ever read a Red Sonja comic. This probably isn't going to be something I'll read, but it's certainly a nice looking cover. Are you into that art style, Efren? Are you liking Mark Spears' art?
I'm sure I probably have seen him, in the past, but not a fan. No, I can't. Being honest with you, no, I'm not.
Yeah, he's kind of the hot thing at the moment. Really interesting interview if you go over to Swaggle House's show, where Mark's talking about how he's regarded at the moment as one of the hottest artists in the industry because all of his books are selling like hotcakes on the aftermarket, on eBay and things like that. But it hasn't impacted on his work life in terms of the offers or the prices he's getting from Marvel and Dynamite and places like that really at all. So he's not really seeing a massive benefit to it. It's an interesting interview to watch. An interesting interview. And then this is also Mark Spears. Is this you or did I pick this? I can't remember.
I think I picked this one. I didn't even notice that the artist was Mark Spears, but I know it was by. We interviewed David Pepos. Looks like he's continuing with these types of characters. Captain Planet #1. With their powers combined, they summon Earth's greatest champion, Captain Planet, but they need to learn to trust each other first. Gaia, the latest high priestess of the Earth, has been kidnapped. Our Planeteers are forced to come together against the newly formed might of Lucian plunder. Even with Captain Planet on their side, will it be enough to save the very Earth itself? So these are being more. David Pepos was taking on what was the other one? Ghost,
Space Ghost.
Space Ghost, and now Captain Planet, but a more adult orientated storylines to what they have been in the past.
So Fuzzy's saying Captain Planet cover, not a fan, looks nothing like him. I agree, Fuzzy. I'm not a fan of this. I mean, I have to be honest. Captain Planet was never a cartoon I particularly watched.
Yeah, me neither.
But I'm back with the facial hair. Don't know why they slapped a beard on him. That doesn't look right. And I'm not sure of this kind of whatever it is thing interconnecting onto his chest circle. It just looks a bit weird. I don't know why they keep mucking around with the classic designs. You know what I mean? But I'll read it. I will pick it up and read it and give it a go, I think. Okay, so that's what picks for April. I hope there's been something there that's tantalized your taste buds. But there was one book we both said independently, we both said we wouldn't be reading, and that is Concert of the Champions. It's just not for me, Efren. Not for me. First issue of Concert of the Champions, a festival bringing together Marvel Universe's biggest and brightest musical stars. I can stop reading there and say, nah, not interested in the slightest. Why are you not wanting to read this, Efren? You strike us as someone that's hip and down with the musical industry. Do you not fancy reading this one?
No, I thought, oh my God. When Peter and I, we make these choices, we don't tell each other what choices we make. And the Nope, for the Nope ones, the ones we don't pick, this is the first time we've ever picked the same book. Out of hundreds of books, this is the first one, that we focused on. This is, I don't know, just the whole thing, Concert of Champions. I'm going, what are they trying to do now? It's just, like it says, a festival bringing together the Marvel Universe's biggest and brightest musical stars. I'm like, you can't even really, it's just a book. What music, so I don't know. I just said, no, this book, hopefully it's just one of one and this is not a continuing series,
I suspect, Efren, we're not the age demographic for this book.
Yeah.
Yeah. So not for me. Doesn't mean it's not for anybody else out there. Yeah, I'm sure some people will love this.
This is just our opinions, two old guys saying no.
I don't like loud noises, not interested in bands. Yeah. So books that are coming out next week that we both thought were interested in. Now, Fuzzy. I'm relying on you in the comments to tell us whether I'm right or wrong here. But I think we might have the last issue of the Holy Roller coming out next week. It's down in the solicitations for next week. So if it is, I'm looking forward to reading it. I have to say, I'm reading it. I'm rage reading it because it's that long since the last issue. It must be 6 months or something like that. It's irritated us. So as much as I'm enjoying the story, I automatically go in a little bit negative because it's paid us off. But I am interested to see how this story concludes. I have enjoyed the story. It's been a well-written book. It's good artwork, good humor, and good action. So I hope it's a strike. See what I did there? Strike. Yeah. Efren, Doom Academy, #1.
Before we go any further, going back to Holy Roller a little bit, I didn't even know this book I thought the book had finished, to be honest with you. I completely forgot all about it. And it's a shame that they've taken so long with this book. I've been reading this one book, The Maniac of New York.
Oh, yeah.
It's been, I am not lying, it's been 1 or 2 years since the last episode. And and I think I've seen a recent solicitation for it, but it's just, I'm like, 2 years is when, come on.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I would imagine the Holy Roller, I would think that they had finished this book, completed it, and then put it to publication.
You would have thought
why this last episode's taking so long, it's a shame.
Crazy.
Sorry, I had to get off my. I'll get off
No,
my,
no, absolutely,
it
absolutely.
bugs me now that I see. I'm looking forward to it, but at the same time, I'm disappointed.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
So,
I'm the same way.
Doom Academy. We've been talking about it almost this whole episode of our show here, and Doom Academy #1 is coming out next week. I'm gonna try to get a couple of issues of this book because there's going to be new characters introduced. I just want to see how they transition from Strange Academy to Doom Academy,
Yeah.
how they made the sales pitch to it. So hopefully, I know Fuzzy doesn't like the heading on top of it, but besides that, I'm hoping it's a good storyline.
Yeah.
With these kids, how they're going to be manipulated under Doom. Will they turn evil now?
Yeah.
I was curious to see.
I mean, I've not read any of Strange Academy, but I will probably pick this up and see what it's like. It's got us intrigued. Intrigued. Couple of quick reviews for you people. So we've got Efren. You are first with Redcoat issue #1.
So I've been talking about this book. It was one of my picks that I'm going to be reading. This is written again by Jeff Johns and artist by Brian Hitch. It's just a universe that they created. There's 4 separate universes. I did not know that. But in some of by different storylines, they're in different universes. I'm not sure if they're going to combine at the end, but they're under the company, I believe, is called Ghost Machine, but it's under the Image title. Yeah. And some of the other books here, it's a shared four shared universes, including Geiger, Redcoat, Rook, Exodus, the Rockefellers, and many more. This one that I focused on is Redcoat. This one, basically, I'm going to read this to you. It says, British Redcoat and all-around rogue Simon mysteriously became immortal in 1776. They were trying to make Ben Franklin immortal at the beginning, but he interrupted the process and he became immortal. After a run-in with the clandestine cabal known as the Founding Fathers, which included George Washington, John Hancock, and many other prominent American revolutionary leaders. Since that fateful day, Simon has led an adventure and avarice, rubbing elbows and sometimes fists with many of history's renowned artists, including nemesis Benedict Arnold, who's also immortal, Albert Einstein, Annie Oakley, and many more. This has just been a great read for me. Even though he's immortal now, this man basically hasn't changed. He's a rogue. He just basically tries to have fun, and just go through life. But, recently, like I said, he had almost like a turning of his being when he met Albert Einstein. And, and it's been going on since then. This is, it's a really good series. I highly recommend it.
Fuzzy saying he read the first 6 issues and dropped off. Nothing bad. He just can't buy everything. That's fair enough. Fuzzy, at least he gave it a go. I'm enjoying it. I still enjoy Redcoat. It's a good all-around read. It's not as good as Geiger for me, but it's still good. I've popped Ultimates on there. So I picked up the Ultimates, was it last month? It had the Guardians of the Galaxy in it. It was all right. But then this cover got us intrigued because it's all about Luke Cage. So this is Ultimates issue 9. It's a kind of a standalone story, and it tells you the history of an alternate version of Luke Cage, who's in the Ultimate universe, because it's such an authoritarian kind of setup and whatnot. He's arrested at a very, very young age and put in jail, but not told what he's done wrong or why he's in jail or anything like that. And it tells the story of him kind of going through the jail system over, I think it's a 20-year period, and he encounters Danny Rand when he's in there and stuff. And then finally, the future Tony Stark comes to him and gives him a catalyst that restarts his Luke Cage powers. So he got his diamond hard skin and all that kind of jazz. And at the end, he's given the option to leave the prison and come and kind of fight. But he chooses to stay in prison because he can do more damage to kind of the authoritarians by working his way through the prison system. It was just a really interesting read. It was it was not what I expected. It had a lot more heart than I expected. So I will read issue number 10. So I think I'm kind of getting back into the Ultimates. C4 Darkman, nice to see you. I'm loving the Ultimates and Ultimate Spider-Man. Ultimate Spider-Man is phenomenal. I'm about 3 issues behind Ultimate Spider-Man, so I need to catch up with that. They're sat waiting to be read. But yeah, this is Ultimates number 9. Good read. So a couple of good books there for you to pick up.
Really quick, Peter, you said restart. So was he Power Man beforehand? You said restart his powers.
So in this universe of the Ultimates, the maker has somehow I can't remember how he did it, but he went back in time and he stopped all the key characters from
Yes.
gaining the powers.
Uh-huh.
And now he's kind of gone back to key characters and he's given them an option to
Gotcha.
reignite
Oh,
the
I see
powers.
what you mean.
kind of
Okay,
thing.
yeah, just like Spider-Man. Yep. Okay.
Yeah. Okie dokie. Classic covers. So just a couple of covers that we've picked that jump out. Efren, you've gone for a weird one. This one.
I picked this one because I have this book.
Right.
And another reason I picked it, Larry Lieber, which is Stan Lee's brother. He's the artist inside. And gosh, I'm drawing a blank on this artist now. Who's Spider-Man? Who drew Spider-Man first?
Dicto? It's not Jack Kirby, is it?
No, it's not Jack Kirby. Now I have to look it up. Peter, why don't you talk about yours and you can see how much prepared I was for this here. So hang on for a second, everybody.
I think you sent us a thing, but I didn't. Archie Goodwin story starts. Yeah, Dicto. Steve
Ditko. Sorry,
Ditko.
gosh.
Yeah.
I believe I forgot his name. So the reason I picked this one was Steve Ditko was the cover artist, and Lieber was the artist inside. So I've been putting my books in order, and this book popped up. I said, yeah, I'm going to pick this one as a blast from the past.
It's a pretty classic cover, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I don't have any Atlas books, I have to say.
This is the one Atlas book that I have.
Yeah. I went for the Death of Captain Marvel by Starlin. Just a classic cover, that one, with some of my favorite characters. You could argue that it's not a particularly good cover, in that if you look at the characters, they're all just kind of floating around in nowhere. Do you know what I mean? They're not standing on anything. It's literally just like they've been photoshopped on there. But it's just such an important storyline. I remember reading it back in the day and saying, a superhero dying of cancer was absolutely devastating, So yeah, it's just a book that always jumps out at us. If I see it on the shelf, it's the one that I always smile because I love the cover. It's a very, very nice cover. Okie dokie, that's the end of our show. A few things to mention before we go. Content on my channel, a few different videos for you to check out. Got an action figure review, pop culture playback. Last week was about Superhero Squad. I've got a whole host of Who's Who videos out at the moment. Latest one is looking at the Falcon, his comic book history, and his appearance in Captain America Brave New World, which is out this Thursday.
Oh, wow.
Efren, what have you got coming up on your channel?
I do this show Up on Comics every 2 weeks, where myself and my Momo Comics 80, we just talk about current comic book, and entertainment news. And besides shows with you, Peter, I've been slowing down a little bit. I keep on saying I want to do my read of the week, which I used to do on a weekly basis, but I haven't done that yet. So whatever pops in my head, I'm gonna start try to do more videos. Next month, I'm going to WonderCon.
Oh, nice.
And I'll be, showing some videos from there. And, I'm just going for one day, on a Saturday. It's in Anaheim, basically right next door to Disneyland. So I'll be doing that next month.
I might hit you up for something, Efren.
Okay, just let me know.
No, I might be wrong. Might have the complete wrong convention, but I was looking for a signing event for Lou Ferrigno, and I've got a feeling
usually there at those at Comic-Con.
Yeah, I've got a feeling I read something saying he was going to be at it. I'll have a look.
Okay, yeah, let me know.
I'm very excited about this one. Next Monday night, so that's Monday at 8:00. Myself and Efren will be interviewing Anthony Cleveland, author of Show's End and Charred Remains, and Alex Cormack, who you all know from this channel. He's an absolute superstar artist, because they've both worked together on a new book called Buried Long, Long Ago. Now, Buried Long, Long Ago is a book that's blown me away. So it should say, Anthony got in touch with us last week and he sent me and Efren issue 1 and 2 of Buried Long, Long Ago, written by himself, art by Alex Cormack. And it's a real interesting read. And I hadn't appreciated until just before the show, it's actually based on a true story of a lady who is attributed to killing around about, I think it's 60 men. She used to entice them into her house with the kids and stuff like that, marry them, then bump them off for money, basically. As you can imagine, with Alex's artwork, it is very gruesome. It's got some interesting twists and turns in it. So we're going to be interviewing Anthony and Alex on Monday at 8 o'clock. It'll go live on both mine and Ephraim's channels. We'll be talking about their history, their backstories, and of course about the new book. So really, really looking forward to that. C4 Darkman, did you see King Rando casting today? No, I didn't, mate. Who have the cast? I did see they've cast someone to play Fisto. Didn't think we were getting a live Fisto. But I haven't seen the King Rando casting. Let us know who that is. So that's Monday night next week. Tuesday night, we have got our year in review show. We're doing 1982. I believe Fuzzy asked for 1982. And from the quick look I've had, it's a flaming amazing year. Some stunning stuff. James Purfoy, interesting. I like that. So that's next Tuesday night, 9 o'clock. Myself, Ephraim, and good old James T. Keegan will be looking at all of the movies, TV shows, toys, and all kinds of stuff from that year. As Fuzzy says, what a year. Just the films alone, Fuzzy. We could do an entire 2-hour show just on the films from that year. So looking forward to talking about that. Right. Thank you very much to everybody that's watched on both my channel and Ephraim's channel tonight. Please do remember to hit like and subscribe for both of our channels. Ephraim, as usual, it's been an absolute pleasure. Always nice talking to you. And to everybody in the chat, thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Take care.
The curtain's closed. It's time to go. We really hope you enjoyed the show. Check out my channel for more geeky fun, and hit like, subscribe before you run. All that remains is our thanks to you from Triple G and his YouTube crew. We really do hope you come on back, but for now, that's your whack. Yeah, that's